Morning, y'all. This is Lisa Edwards, and she is the director at the Berea Senior Citizens Center. And she's going to tell us about the center in general, but we specifically invited her to tell us with that, especially about the food delivery service. It's like Meals on Wheels, but it's not specifically the organization Meals on Wheels. And I was asked to be a part of that because before I broke my foot and couldn't drive for over half a year, I was doing those deliveries. Lisa, appreciate you coming and sharing with us anything and everything you can or wish about your services.
Well, I'm a little new at this. I've not been the director, but a little bit over a year. So this is really kind of my first speaking. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Senior Citizen Center itself. What the Berea Senior Citizen Center does, it tries to maintain or improve the quality of life to seniors and try to keep them in their home as long as possible. The senior center itself, it provides seniors 60 years or older with socialization, recreation, exercise programs, nutritious meals. They participate in all of that, and it keeps them happy and healthy and in their homes longer. The meal program, we actually do a home-delivered meal program, and we also offer congregate meals. And that's where they can come into the center if they're still able and have a hot meal every day. I'm going to give you a little bit of numbers on them. We just last year, between the congregate meals and the home-delivered meals, we served 9,369 meals. 5,754 meals was delivered into people's homes. So we fix the meals at the center. They're catered in from Bateman out of Lexington. We put the meals together, and then ourselves or a volunteer will go out and deliver the meals into the homes. A lot of times, these people's not got no family. It's just them. So what they see getting that meal each day, that's what socialization they get with other people. It's not done on a financial thing. You know, you don't have to meet no requirements. It's just the need. Sometimes the need is just because they're not able to cook for themselves anymore. We have a blind guy on the program. There's several, and sometimes it's just their age. I mean, we have some on the program that's 93, 94 years old, and they don't feel like cooking anymore. That's just it. They don't want to do it. They want that hot meal delivered to them. The meal we deliver to them is probably the only hot meal they get a day. We deliver 5 days a week. We do not deliver on the weekends. We just don't have the finances or the people working to do it. So with that being said, a lot of times if they don't see us, they don't see nobody. This year, the need keeps growing every year. And of course, the funding keeps getting cut every year. This year we have already delivered, let's see, it's right around 4,000 meals that we've already delivered this year. So, I mean, our numbers is going to be a lot more than what it was last year. Peter, do you want to come up and tell a couple? Come up and tell a couple of stories that you have encountered delivering meals.
Yes, you will. The human side of it is the big thing. And I was lucky enough, I don't remember exactly, to deliver these for about 2 years before, in a freak accident, I broke my foot and was not able to drive for better than half a year. So I had to buy out. They had to replace me, and I found other things to do. You know, I do several volunteer projects. But so it's not one I've returned to. But as Lisa knows, I have returned to visit some of these people. Some of these people even have my phone number if they need me. I'm glad you mentioned the part. I was wondering if I should mention that about financial need is not the criteria. It's the personal desire or need. It's hard to mention some of these people without identifying folks, and I want to try to do that. But one's no longer living, but a well-known and loved doctor from the southeast Kentucky missions work was one of them. Oh yeah, I know. He was a doctor at Redbird Mission for a long time, and he was in his 90s, I think, definitely. The unusual thing about this man was when you came, you were the focus. He wanted to see you. How you doing? What's up? You know, it was just unbelievable. It was adorable. So you know that's the way he was as a doctor. He was, you know, patient-centered. He cared about you. A lot of these folks, they're needy and they want you to pay attention to them. But no, his focus was 100% on you. The blind man. He's still there. Sweetest thing in the world. He has other problems. And I shan't go into that, you know, simply for courtesy and everything. But as a number of them do, he wants your time. You've got hot meals delivered and they're in a container and everything. But he wants you to sit there and he wants you to talk. And he can talk and he can talk. He'll listen some, but he can talk unbelievably and adorable. I go back to see him, but not often because he can talk your head off. But such a decent person. There's a small sprinkling of them that take their meal, express appreciation, and the door is shut. But that's the exception. Most of them, like Lisa said, they hardly see anyone else. I think of Annie. There's a name, but you don't know who among all of them. I don't know that she was ever married. I doubt it. I think she was
married in her younger years because she had a child.
Okay, I did not know that. Okay.
She had a child.
All I've seen her is this little old lady that lived alone, you know. I'd never heard about the child. I never knew any of that, you know, and that's why I was guessing.
Because the child was not really active into her life.
Right, okay, thank you. But just imagine someone that's so hungry and needy. She needed the food too. She was not well off financially. And most of them aren't, by the way. Most of them, even though someone like a retired doctor could get the food, most of them were very poor. Most of them lived in a room that would fit about where that piano is and not reach it to us. Little bitty efficiency apartments. And, but so sweet. There was another one, lived in one of those little apartments. She had cats and dogs, not a huge number, but she had them. They were her life. She actually had children. Now, I know this, and Lisa will probably guess who I mean. She had children and everything, but I don't know how much contact she had with them. If you got to her door, you had to come in, you had to sit down, you had to visit, you had to love on her animals and show concern for her too. And it was just, I could go on forever with these stories, you know. The human element of it, as much as giving them food, the human contact was their life. You know, it really was. I can't tell you how many of them would call me and, can you come over and help me with this, or can you, whatever, or just how are you doing and everything. It was a blessing, and I'm grateful.
Is that built into your delivery schedule?
No. You had to, you literally had to exercise, well, today I will spend 10 minutes with one of them. That type thing. Or I better save this one for last because they're going to really want to talk. That kind of thing, Ann. It was not. You have all these hot meals to deliver. The one good part about it was you always had the excuse, well, I've got to go because I got all these hot meals I've got to deliver. So you always had a good excuse to get out. But they were so hungry. And apart from the food delivery service, how many people are there in our community who are living like that? How many of our neighbors, et cetera?
We have 20 on our meal route as of today. That's just the ones in the city limits that we can deliver to. We have several on the outskirts of town that we have to deliver frozen meals to. But just like Peter said, it's not really the meal that they're looking for. They're looking for that contact that comes in, and they will literally hang on to you to keep you. We usually try to keep, because we don't have a whole lot of volunteers, and it's just 2 of us at the center, me and another helper. So we usually try to keep the hot meals, and you have a certain amount of time that you've got to deliver these hot meals in. So we usually try to keep that within the city limits. If it's just a little bit past city limits, we will go ahead and deliver like that. You're supposed to deliver the meals within an hour's time. And of course, that never happens. Like Peter said, they're following you out the door, literally just to get that contact with the person. Yes, ma'am.
So if Peter has a route, do you have 20 people to deliver to?
I've never had 20. It's increased.
It's really increases.
It's probably been at least 3 years since I did it.
Yeah,
So you would have two volunteers, hopefully, for 20 people.
hopefully. Right now, I have 1 volunteer.
Wow.
One
Okay.
volunteer to deliver meals. And like I said, if you're short, you just have to do the best you can. I've literally had to, in the past 2 or 3 weeks, just say, hey, I've got to lock the doors, I've got to go deliver meals, and I'll be back within an hour or so. So,
Lisa, you just counted. You have 2 volunteers.
yes.
I'll be back.
Well, good. Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't know you were down to
Yeah.
1 person.
We're down to one volunteer. Not only